I just started The Two Towers as part of my huge reread of Lord of the Rings here, where I'm giving you chapter by chapter video updates. The first chapter of Two Towers is called The Departure of Boromir, and right away I found myself surprised and a little bit disappointed. Obviously, my memory of how this plays out in the books has been corroded by the movies, because in the movies we see this big battle between Boromir and all the other fellowship and the Uruk-hai who are coming to take the halflings. But in the book, Aragorn is looking for Frodo. When he hears Boromir's call, he runs over, and the battle is already done. Boromir is lying under a tree, bleeding into the ground. He's clearly on his way to being a corpse. The halflings are already gone, and Boromir fills Aragorn in, conveniently, before he dies. Where he's just like, oh yeah, they took Merry and Pippin, because those were the only hobbits that they could find, and they took off with them, and here I am. So right before Boromir dies, he's just like, oh, by the way, you should really go to Minas Tirith. And then, he dies. Boromir has a one-track mind, okay? He's been talking about Minas Tirith obsessively since we met him, and apparently that was the last thing on his mind before he fucking died. So Legolas and Gimli come right the fuck out of nowhere, and then they decide to all do a burial at sea. They send Boromir's corpse off in one of the elvish canoes, and then out of his pocket, Aragorn just pulls the longest song we've had in Lord of the Rings so far. Like, just rhyming couplets for multiple pages about how great Boromir was and all this stuff, and it's just like, he almost ruined your entire quest, dude, and how are you able to come up with a poem like this just off the cuff? But anyway, we have our mission now. Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas all decide that rather than go after Frodo and Sam, who clearly have left of their own volition, they're going to see if they can rescue Merry and Pippin. And so off they go to see if they can do that. And failing that, they're just gonna, I guess, wander around and see where they're needed. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed and bewildered by the lack of action and just coming on to like a big scene that has been missed by the audience in this book. It's kind of a daring approach to take. And speaking of daring approaches, that's going to be the norm here, because Tolkien takes a very unusual approach in how he structures Two Towers and Return of the King, where instead of intercutting with each chapter between the characters, the sets of characters, he has entire hundreds of page spans stuck with one set of characters, and then jumping to the other set of characters and kind of backtracking in time. In Two Towers, it's a great way of emphasizing the distance between the characters and their separate missions. In Return of the King, I really don't like how it affects the story, but we'll get to that down the road. Anyway, follow me along as I continue reading The Two Towers.